You're listening to the podcast for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and founders who are tired of the client hustle. We believe sustainable business isn't about chasing new leads, it's about keeping the great clients you already have. Let's dive in. We have a tip of the week that I'm going to talk about, a retention tip that could help you keep your clients longer, help you get more referrals. And because of Restream and how I'm doing this, I'm able to put a link with a QR code where you can actually go and purchase Retention Made Simple. This is something super cool. So if you're a guest on the podcast sometime and you have something you want to promote, maybe we can get that on the bottom of the screen. I'm having fun. So far, I really do love Restream and the features that it has. And so if you aren't aware, Retention Made Simple, create client loyalty without a ton of tech, time, or money. This is the book that I wrote a few months ago, put it together, and it literally shows step by step the process that I use with our high ticket clients who pay us monthly to implement what we do for their retention program. So if you want to get just a written book, $15, have it delivered by Amazon. At the beginning of the book, there's going to be a QR code. If you prefer to listen to an audio file, it's not the Audible, but it's a link on YouTube. You can get access to that for free. And because some people I know like to listen, you can get it on Audible, but this way, if you get the book, you can get the audio version at no charge. What happens if you're pouring leads into your business so fast? And I usually use the analogy of a bucket, but this time I'm talking about a bathtub, and the drain on the bathtub is not plugged, right? And so the water's coming in really fast, and as fast as it's coming in, it's going out. And that's what happens with a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs, founders. And I have a really cool graphic that I created with Notebook LM. Let me share my screen. So what we need to talk about though is if people are leaving as fast as they sign up with you, there's a problem. And if that's happening, you have a leak and you have to determine where that's coming from. What I have found is, and if you want a copy of this image, just send me a message and I'll send it to you. I created it on Notebook LM. It was super easy. I just gave it some of the content that I was going to be talking about today, and it literally created this. But I found that if you can answer these three questions, why they stay, why they truly left, and how they stay connected, then you can begin to plug that the drain to where the leak stops. We forget that we're relational, that we were created for relationship, and that, yes, sometimes there are transactional situations that are truly transactional. But for most of the people that I work with and our clients, their business is anything but transactional. It's literally relational all the way. And so when you can start to protect the relationships, then you will be able to protect your revenue. It'll just happen automatically. I have a story I want to tell you about this, and I may go back to the graphic in a minute. So I have two coaching experiences that I've been told about from other people or has been experienced by me in the last year. And I'm going to give one of the examples because I think it's super relatable, even if this isn't your own business, right? You'll be able to see what's about to happen and see how they could plug those leaks. And maybe you can then transform them into how you could plug the leaks in your own business. With Retention Made Simple, I teach a 3-part system, and it's proper onboarding, appropriate appreciation, and asking for feedback. And if you don't do one of those 3 things really well, it's going to be really clear that your retention will not be as high as it could be. And so imagine this. Potential client finds this business online, watches a video, and they feel like, oh my gosh, this dude is talking to me. I need to get on a sales call with them. Get on a sales call. Everything is groovy. They have a year-long program that you can sign up for, or they have a 3-month thing. It's a tester. And then once you've done that, you decide if you want to stay or not. And so for the 3 months, it's $1,500. You pay it all at once and you have this 3-month time period. You have an onboarding call with the coach separate from that and you dig in, you have really good onboarding in that you understand processes and systems and all the things about what's expected of you and them, vice versa. You, as the client, show up on all the coaching calls and do your work and do what you're supposed to do. And so that's good. In this situation, got to meet the person and they had a gift, right? And it was really nice because most of the time people don't do those things. And so there was some appropriate appreciation. But what they didn't do was ask for feedback and they didn't make it easy for me to continue. And so what happened was at the end of my 3 months, I was done and I wasn't going to keep showing up knowing that I hadn't paid. And there had been no discussion of what would happen if I decided I wanted to stay. And so I just left. So I sent a message and said, hey, I guess my time's up. We can check back later. And that was in December. And now it's the beginning of February. And that person could have probably kept me. They didn't ask. And so if you have a program, just because somebody's paying you an agreed price does not mean you have MRR. Doesn't mean you have a client that's going to stay with you forever. It means that you have a client that is fulfilling the contract. If you want that to continue, you have to continue to have the conversation. And so in my process, what I would have suggested for this person, the one thing that they could have done differently is at day 45 and just 90 days, send a quick email to me. Question, how are things going based on what you've experienced right now? Or do you think you're going to want to continue after the first 90 days? Get some feedback. That one thing would have led to the discussion and being able to stay and to keep me as a client longer. Another situation I had that wasn't me, a woman signed up for a coaching program. And this doesn't just happen in coaching. It's just the experiences I have. It happens in lawyer offices. It happens in plumbers. It happens in small businesses all over the world, right? And making it easy for someone to continue with you is really important. But in this other situation, the woman signed up for this coaching program and is paying a monthly recurring fee to keep her end of the bargain. But she realized a month or two in, it wasn't a good fit for her. So she just stopped participating and showing up. The person that she's still paying money to has never reached out to her to find out what's up. If they had a conversation about what's up, then possibly they could have arranged some things that would be different to make it more suitable for her to be able to continue and actually get value. So that not only would she then stay longer and continue, but she may actually refer some people to them. And so there's no chance that this person is getting referrals from her, but literally a year of not reaching out after they just stopped showing up and they're still paying. I promise you, if they stopped paying, they would reach out. Right. And so don't be that person. Protect the relationships, protect your clients. Know that having a conversation could be what keeps them longer. And I hear it all the time when I talk to people about asking for feedback. That's the thing people don't want to do. And I don't get it because if you ask for feedback appropriately and in a timely sense, then you're able to make improvements that not only make your business better, but you're probably going to be better and the relationships will be stronger. And when you have stronger relationships, your business will be stronger as well. I just want you to know that if you are a tiny bit interested, let me go ahead and share this again because I can. Now I know how. If you want to get a copy of Retention Made Simple off of Amazon, you can go there, use that QR code. There's paperback, Kindle, Audible, and hardbacks available. You grab a copy, start reading through it. It's a pretty easy read. You can probably read it in an hour, but implementing it, that's where the magic happens, right? So just reading something and having the information, that's not going to do anything. You have to implement. And so get the book, figure out, does this make sense for me? And if it does, and you want to learn more about what Retention Made Simple actually can do for your business, we have a done with you and a done for you option to where we can actually help you build this out and implement it for you, or you can get access to all the tools and tips and all the things we do with the Done With You program. Friday at 12 noon Central, I'm having a sticky note retention tip training where we do a demo plus a training, and we're going to talking more in depth about how to keep the plug on your bathtub drain closed. And so if you want to invite for that, let me know. And now I have a personal thing that I'm going to share that I waited for the end. So we're done with the business part. Several of you have asked, what's up with your phone? Why did you have to get a new phone number? And so I thought I would just share this as a thing, a first world problem that has happened that's been frustrating, very frustrating. But just so you understand, this is just, I can't make this stuff up. If you know me in real life, my legal name is not Samantha. And some of you know that. My parents named me something so that my initials would be Sam. And I've gone by Sam almost all my life. There was like 1 year in high school, I think I was in ninth grade. I went by my legal name, and it was really more just to irritate my dad. But I've never really gone by my legal name. And so we were moving phone carriers, and I called the company we were leaving from, and I said, hey, we're porting out our numbers. I need my port pin or whatever they call it, a transfer pin, the account number. And is there anything else that I need? Because I don't want to have to call you back. And they're like, nope, everything looks good. This is what you need. And so I do the thing and I port my number to the new carrier. And it shows it goes through, and I get an email and a text from them saying, hey, finish the setup stuff on your phone and you're good to go. And I did all that and my phone wasn't working. And so I call the new carrier. I'm like, hey, it should be working, but it's not. And they looked and they said, they're like, oh yeah, your phone isn't unlocked. So I had to call the other carrier back, even though I told them I didn't want to. And they're like, oh yeah, it should have been unlocked. We'll have to do a manual unlock for you. And that took a couple of days. We finally got the phone unlocked. And then whenever I went back to the new carrier and said, hey, because the whole thing had gone through, the pen, everything was good, but we had to delete all that and we had to do it again for them to send the SIM card to my phone or whatever they do. They needed to verify who I was. And whenever I filled out the form to set up the new account, I typed in my legal name. I know I did that because that's just what I do, because I know for legal things it has to be that. But then I clicked the address to autofill the address, and the name saved on it was Sam. And so I'm trying to verify who I am, and they say they can't verify that I'm Sam Morrison because my ID doesn't say that. So literally they look at my phone and they open the phone and they go to settings, and it literally says Sam Morrison. I don't know if you can see that. Sam Morrison. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, my email, my business website, I even have one credit card that says Sam Morrison. American Express did that. I don't even know how that happened. Because when they go through their automated process to take a picture of the ID to make it match, it won't match. I lost my phone number that I've had for over 26 years. And I know it's a first world problem, right? I have a new phone number. It's fine. But the number of people that I have been connected to in my whole life, I've had that phone number the whole time. And now I'm trying to go back through and who do I need to make sure I get this new phone number to? And so if you're watching this and if you still have my 817 phone number saved, you can get rid of that and message me on Facebook or somewhere else. And I'll send you my new number because legit, I don't have that number anymore. So anyway, it would be nice if a human could intervene in the system to be able to say, oh, I can track with this. I see this. It makes sense. But unfortunately, we live in this digital world, and the AI robots and stuff are going to rule the world before we know it. Remember, the fastest path to growth isn't always the next new client. It's strengthening your relationships with your current ones. And if you want to be a guest to share your tip or get personalized retention advice, check the show notes for details. Thanks for listening.